Triumph Daytona Moto2 765 Best Motorcycle Review, Castelli Twin Spar. The Triumph Daytona Moto2 765 Limited Edition is everything we hoped it would be, a rev-hungry flyweight that excites, grips, and flatters, with an extra dose of mid-range grunt and flexibility that'll make it easier to live with than a bad 600. It'll flatter you on a track day, and just like a rarefied slice of exotica, is loaded with tasty parts and packed full of electronics. But its looks are dated, the attention to detail in places is lacking, and its measured 152 mph top speed is disappointing. Should Triumph make a full production version? Yes. Are they going to when the demand for supersport bikes is almost non-existent? Probably not. Ride quality and brakes. Of course, despite its name, the Triumph isn't a proper Moto2 replica, but the Daytona 765 is better than the real thing on the road. A suitor or speed-up would shake your fillings out over a bumpy back lane, but there's no such roughness here. The Öhlins suspended, Brembo Brake 675 or derived chassis pulls off the neat trick of being friendly, stable, and full of feel with a limit so high it's impossible for mere mortals to reach, even on the track. That shouldn't come as a surprise, as the Daytona 675R has won countless supersport races at world and domestic level and TTs. It was also used, virtually unchanged, as Triumph's Moto2 development mule, rugged to the moon and back by test riders and Grand Prix racers. Proof that this incredible chassis is more than capable of handling a few more ponies. Not only is the Daytona 765 steering light and crisp, its new Brembo Stylema calipers are strong and ground clearance seemingly limitless. Pirelli Supercorsa SP tires offer the last word in grip on the road, are as near as quick as race rubber on the track, and they're surprisingly sure-footed in the rain. Like the Daytona 675, the 765 is a racer with lights, with a firm ride, low bars and high pegs. Its riding position isn't as squashed or extreme as many of its supersport or superbike rivals, either. The seat is surprisingly plush and it's fine for short blasts, but riding for extended periods, especially if you're tall, will eventually take its toll on wrists, knees and neck, a timely reminder of why sports bikes aren't big sellers they used to be, as we riders are getting older and less flexible. Engine. Using Triumph's Street Triple RS motor as a starting point, the 765 cubic centimeters inline 3-cylinder gets new titanium inlet valves, high compression pistons, DLC-coated gudgeon pins, Harrier cams, new intake trumpets, modified conrods, intake ports, crank and barrels. Power rises from 121 bhp at 11,750 rpm to 128 bhp at 12,250 rpm, and torque is reduced by just a foot-pound. First and second gear ratios are the same as the 675's, first is 4% taller than the Street Triple RS, but second/third gear are 4% higher and fifth/sixth gear 8% higher. Strangely, the 765 only tops out at 152 mph in sixth gear on our test track, slower than we've seen from 675's in the past. It feels and sounds just like a rasping 675, but the motor's extra cubes give the 765 more oomph without having to dance on the gear lever, but not so much it will get you into trouble like on a 200 bhp plus superbike. It doesn't really need its electronic rider aids to keep it in check, although they're there, just in case. It might do a standing quarter in less than 11 seconds, wheelie off the throttle in second, clutch up in third and yell its lungs out, but it's well behaved in traffic, is perfectly fueled, and because you don't need to thrash the living daylights out of it to get going, it's frugal on the road, too. Returning 50 miles per gallon, it will get you a theoretical 189 miles between fill-ups, but on track, Cadwell Park, the reserve light comes on at 60 miles. 5 rider modes let you choose your levels of power, traction control and ABS, but with so much grip and poise, even in the wet you're best setting the power high and the electronics low. A brilliant up/down quickshifter is a joy to use at any speed, but the TC is too intrusive on the track and pulls you back too much when you want to get going. Happily, you can turn it off, but not the party-pooping ABS, which chimes in and releases pressure in the calipers under very hard braking. Reliability and build quality. Check out our owner's reviews section of the Daytona 675R and Street Triple RS, the two machines that go to make up this bike, and you'll find a mixed bag of experiences, but they're generally dependable, so things should be no different here. Although the Daytona 765 is built with lots of mouth-watering parts, it isn't finished to the same level of Triumph's latest generation offerings. Things like the blanks on the left switchgear and the wiring loom going into it, coiled up because it's too long, isn't befitting of a 15 grand motorcycle. Value versus rivals. In terms of exclusivity, the Triumph is worth a premium, but the ticket price is on the steep side, especially when you compare it to its nearest rival, Ducati's Panigale V2, which has a far more luxurious build and feel. To run, the Triumph won't break the bank, but insurance premiums will reflect its high value. Equipment. Costing an eye-watering £15,765, see what they did there, only 765 are being built for the US and Canada and another 765 for the UK, Europe, Asia and the rest of the world. Happily, for the price the 765 is more than just a Daytona 675R with a fast engine. It's a smorgasbord of Hinckley-built tastiness. No, it isn't made in Thailand, from its carbon fairing, single seat unit, front mudguard and hugger, to its machined and numbered. Our test bike is 74/765, Ali top yoke, color dash, with a Moto2 startup logo, new switchgear, riding modes, electronic rider aids and a very quiet, just 92 dB on Cadwell Park's noise meter, titanium aero and can. But it's a shame the 765 looks just like a Daytona 675R. You can forgive Triumph for not going to the huge expense of creating tooling for new bodywork for such a small production run, but its long, overhanging tail and protruding nose look dated, especially when you compare it with the squat, stubby styling and evil-eyed looks of the latest sports bikes, like the Yamaha R1 and Ducati Panigale V4. The Triumph doesn't even have LED headlights and unpainted for lightness. Its chassis has something of an early Suzuki SV650 or Yamaha R6 look about it.